As a student at the University of Edinburgh, Ray was impressed by the scientific knowledge of ancients in the Western world. This generated immense curiosity in him to explore the contribution of ancient India in the field of science and technology. He observed that Hindu traditions had a strong scientific basis that formed a knowledge bank, which was followed in daily life but taken for granted as it was their way of life.
The Hindu nation, with its glorious past and vast latent potentialities, may yet look forward to a still more glorious future. And if the perusal of these pages will have the effect of stimulating my countrymen to strive to regain their old position in the intellectual hierarchy of nations, I shall not have labored in vain.
Prafulla Chandra Ray was a visionary ahead of his times, who understood the importance of amalgamation of ancient scientific experimentation and modern emerging sciences. He had observed that the scientific knowledge was vast and highly advanced of its time, but scattered all over. Parts of it were present in royal libraries, some in temple libraries, European museums, some with individuals, various of them in regional languages, many of them in Sanskrit and Pali. With the passage of time and the impact of Mughal and British system, people had stopped reading them. Hence, the knowledge was not transferred to the next generation. He decided to take up this Herculean task of compiling this scientific knowledge at one place. He had always been interested in reading and exploring the history of science, especially his own subject, chemistry. But, to his utter dismay, he found that at international level, scientists were not aware of the work of Indians, as the work had never been translated in any international language, and neither was it communicated in the modern sense. Whatever was available at that time had either been translated by Europeans or kept at their museums as a rare transcript with no understanding of the work. For many years, he continued studying various Indian texts of Sushruta and Charaka and explored the world of ancient Indian science developed 100 years ago. He learned languages like Sanskrit and Pali from eminent scholars like Pandit Navakanta Kavibhushan and Acharya Brajendranath Sil. Pandit Bhushan worked with him in searching ancient manuscripts in various temple libraries of Benares. He studied ancient Indian medical and chemical encyclopedia like Materia Medica of the Hindus by Udyochan Dutt, India Materia Medica and Indigenous Drugs of India by Kanai Lal De. He took guidance and help from Kavirajas, the traditional scholars of Indian system. Ray took it as his mission to disprove the misconception that ancient Indian science was based on mythology only and had no proof. Acharya Prafulla Chandra Ray's book, The History of Hindu Chemistry, is a critically acclaimed treatise on Rasa Shastra and Ayurveda. The first volume of the book was published in 1902 and the second in 1909. The book was strong enough to attract the attention of Western world towards Indian alchemy and lead to the globalization of the fundamentals of Rasa Shastra. In his book, he proves and emphasizes the fact that alchemy and scientific and medical principles based on metal mercury purely originated from India. He accepts in his book that with the advent of outsiders in India, there was indeed an influence of Arab and European knowledge on Indian alchemy, but the use of many medicinal and chemical composition predates the Arabic-European impact. The book History of Hindu Chemistry proudly presents to the world the great work done by Indian sage scientists like Nagarjuna and Charaka. He quotes an example to show the timeline when he details the preparations of various mild alkalis and caustics mentioned in the book of Sushruta, whereas the evidence of this knowledge in Europe is found just around 1755 AD. Another example that he mentions is of the process of zinc extraction as mentioned in the ancient book Rasarnava, the process of which is exactly what the modern chemists follow. The book asserted that Indian knowledge was far more superior than Europeans. As Ray said,
Hindu chemistry waited long and patiently for an interpreter. I thought I owed a debt to the great nation to which I am proud to belong. Further, I implore you to take its pursuit, and I hope that you will justify by your work that you are no unworthy successors of your glorious forefathers in the world of learning.
His other important books are Rasainik Paribhasha, Khadya Vigyan, Saral Vigyan, Desi Rang. He wrote many articles in prominent journals, Pravasvi, Prakriti, Bangavani, and so on.